Located in the heart of Atlanta, the Georgia Institute of Technology is one of the nation's top research universities and is home to the Augmented Environments Lab, headed by Georgia Tech Associate Professor Blair McIntyre, who has been researching augmented reality since 1991, when he started his PhD at Columbia University in New York.
The idea with mobile augmented reality is to get graphics or sound out in the world. So when I pick up my phone and I take the video from the camera, figure out where the phone is in the world so I can display graphics on that video feed, so I get the illusion that the phone becomes a lens through which I'm looking at an augmented world. So what Argon is a kind of web browser for your mobile phone, akin to, say, Mobile Safari on the iPhone or the Android web browser, except instead of just displaying web pages, it displays bits of information that are out in 3D around you.
So you might have content for Facebook over here, content for Flickr there, the Coca-Cola channel, and you might have gone to these different tabs, but they're all visible and potentially interacting with one another at the same time. And that's, I think, a very good contribution to making a usable AR framework.
Here we want IEEE TV or CNN.com to be able to create the content on the mobile side with the same level of control that they have when they create their websites.
We really expect it to facilitate that companies like a Google, companies like an Apple will feel compelled to provide something like an AR browser. And that's really where we want to see this go. And so we imagine the types of things that we've been putting into this reference implementation, Argon, ending up in standard browsers. My real charge right now is leading the development effort of what we call the Karma architecture. It's an augmented reality mobile architecture that's a blend of KML and HTML. Basically an effort to try and come up with a standards-based augmented reality platform that leverages similar tools that are already in use, like HTTP servers, HTML, JavaScript, CSS, etc., in an effort to create a similar ecosystem in augmented reality, in putting graphics around people in the physical world that's on a par with what we have today with Web 2.0.
In addition to creating the browser and architecture for AR, the Georgia Tech Lab also explores the many potential uses for the new medium, such as applications for marketing, 3D interactive games, and virtual information to enhance museum or historical location tours.
Well, we can certainly use something like Argon for those kinds of commercial purposes, to add information that will enhance the viewer, the consumer's understanding of a particular product. The fact that we can either use some sort of marker or ultimately track off the logo or other identifying marks on the product itself makes it possible to call up information onto the phone screen that would tell the user or the consumer whether they were interested in actually buying the product.
In the last year or so, mobile phones have gotten really powerful, so you can actually build these apps now. And Qualcomm released their augmented reality SDK, which is one of the best SDKs for mobile augmented reality, and it's free on Android. They also built a plugin for Unity 3D, which is a top game engine for mobile phones. And we're using these in our lab to create and explore augmented reality games. So we teamed up with Qualcomm. So it's not just about what the technology is good for, but what kind of gaming experiences can you create that are different than Xbox or Wii or even other handhelds like the DS. So that's actually a big theme of the kind of work that my PhD students are doing, is trying to understand what it means to create compelling augmented reality experiences.
We've been working on a tour, for example, of the Oakland Cemetery, which is the historic cemetery here in Atlanta. Adding exciting visual information, dramatic information to the tour is something that the Argon browser or the augmented reality in general is particularly well suited for, because it can bring together the excitement of being in the physical location, being in the cemetery, being at the historic battlefield, being in the museum, with information that can be provided virtually.
As the tracking power of smartphones continues to improve and the popularity of 3D games remains a hot purchase item with consumers, it is realistic to believe that AR apps may one day become a standard feature of these industries and others. Blair McIntyre and his Georgia Tech research team are very excited about the future implementation of augmented reality as they continue to explore the many possibilities this new medium has to offer.